And the focus of today, though, is on a work in progress on the beloved community, which is his practical theology of shalom. And that's what really excites us here as the home base for communities of shalom, because we are in need of a practical theology that brings all these threads of shalom together in one place. And so I'm encouraging the completion of this project. In fact, one of the reasons we invited Fred to come here for an entire week is to give him 2 days to talk to us and 3 days to write.
Right.
To write. Away from all the distractions of the city of Washington, D.C. So we hope this works for you, Fred, and we welcome you to this space today. Thank you for coming.
Shalomization has a methodology. So I like when you call it shalomers, because I like follow use faith as a verb. And I don't use shalom as a verb for me. It's something that you do. It is something that is, and so shalomization, I create, that's the word I created, instead of globalization. we want to create shalom in the world. And to me, as King used nonviolence as a methodology, for social change. And for me, the use of shalom is a broader term in which nonviolence is included as a method for creating, shalom. So I'm trying to develop a theology of the beloved community, and prophecy and prophetic, as well as shalom, in a practical way, looking at community organizing from those lenses, looking at community development from those lenses, looking at direct service from those lenses, how you develop 501c3s, how you write grants, so it's a to-do manual, that has a theological understanding and basis. Because I tell my students, we're not doing social service. Right. This is, there are a lot of folks who do good social service, and that's a good thing, but we from a theological, we're trying to create a world, not just do good. Right. And so all those things is why do a 501c3? Why do a 501c4? What kind of grant, do you write grants just to get the money? What kind of research that you need to do in order to attract the kind of resources. Sometimes you might need to write a grant because oftentimes God makes provision for people who hear the vision and advise on the vision. So how to do fundraising in the stewardship, in those kinds of ways. And I think you need to include a chapter of greening. I hadn't thought about that before, but I think it's got stewardship. Because one of the aspects that I base at the center of all this is spirituality. And for me, spirituality is an experience. It's again, a radical experience. It's an experience of being connected. It's relationship. It's relationship between the self. I talk about the deep moral code that we are created for God. I mean, there's physical. In science, there's a physical connection for the transcendent. That we need to be in touch with. And then there's a connection with others, with other human beings in community. That we are created as social creatures, so we're created for community. There's connection with nature. That we are a part of nature, and that we can't deny it, that our future is dependent upon the future. The whole universe groans, for the advent of the children of God. And then we are connected with God. And so that the essence of all the work that we do, is relational. That addresses those different connections. So community organizing is relational community organizing. Community development is based upon relationships that are developing. You see this in Perkins, you see it in Bob Licticum, and many others who actually do this work from a religious perspective. And so the idea is to use those three things. Is prophetic leadership, which is spiritual leadership, a utopian social metaphor for the building of movements, and shalom, as a methodology or a philosophy or a way of life, for creating it. And I have it basically written because I have 5 chapters that are basically there. It's just put them together right now. So that's basically it. The only other thing is and it's not really proper to say that I was the primary writer on our shared dream of beloved community. That's an Episcopal document. I was a consultant on it, you know. But that's something I'm very proud of too. You know, is that the Methodist Church began to understand, you know, that next challenge, you know, is how do we shape the church so that everything that we do is evaluated by what we do for the least of these. You know, and those are the children and the poor, not just in the United States, throughout the world. So ending extreme poverty, you know, has to be the next goal and the next great challenge. And for me, the principles of the beloved community that I talk about, love and justice, the worth of the individual, diversity, you know, the sharing of stories, and unconditional love, you know, are the principles of a good community or a beloved community that has to be applied in every circumstance, and especially for those who are the least of these.
Practice of multicultural, specifically about the multicultural and multi-faith, and I'm going to take it to the next step and say interfaith. Organizing. In Shalom, the M in the acrostic stands for multicultural and multi-faith. We seem to be moving actually beyond multi-faith to interfaith, beyond ecumenical work. And my question is, in your visions of the beloved community and all of those ingredients, how do you speak to, say we're 60% United Methodists here, how do you speak to that aspect of how we act out our vision?
Well, I mean, the beloved community, as I understand it, always from Josiah Royce up to Cornel West, you know, it's based upon a universal love ethic. Okay, it is an ethic of radical inclusivity. Now that doesn't mean, again, in prose, it doesn't mean that I am relativist. You know, because I own my faith, and that's important. And I think it's important. I worked for the Interfaith Health Program for a lot of years, and we had two basic philosophies for our organizing, how we work together. And one was called limited domain collaboration. That there are those things that we have in common. It may be our poverty. You know, that is an issue for whether you're Muslim or Baptist or, you know, Jewish or whatever. Poverty is an issue that we need to work on together. You know, and so that we work then, you know, on that issue. And I'm concerned about your poverty as I am concerned about, you know, my poverty. And so we work together on that poverty, regardless about your other beliefs. We hold those into abeyance for a while until we become in relationship with one another. And as we become in relationship with one another, begin to trust one another, then we have opportunities for dialogue, you know, and discussion about those things that separate us or that are different from us. But our primary issues and reason for being at the table and collaborating to create shalom is to address the issue of poverty.
Let's close by reading this credo of a community developer. Go to the people, live among them, learn from them, plan with them, work with them, start with what they know, build on what they have, teach by showing, learn by doing. Not a showcase, but a pattern. Not odds and ends, but a system. Not piecemeal, but an integrated approach. Not to conform, but to transform. Not for relief, but release. Then he quotes Lao Tzu, and when the best leaders' work is done, the people say, we did it ourselves. When the best leaders' work is done, the people all say, we've done it ourselves. There's a community developer, and that's the work of Shalom.